Okay, this lesson is on operations with functions. Our essential question today is how do we add, subtract, and multiply functions? Just as a quick reminder, let's talk about what like terms are. Like terms have the same variable or variables raised to the same exponent or exponents. So in our case here, this and this are like terms because they both have an x in them, and they also are both raised to the second power. So we can put those together. And you notice that here I put a box around the negative as well. The sign that's in front of the term also goes with it. So 4x squared minus 7x squared gives me negative 3x squared. And then once we've used those, we can kind of cross those out. And then I've got 3x and 5x. They're both positive, so put those together and we have 8x. Those are like terms as well. And then lastly, the constants are also like terms. There's only one here. That one right there. So minus 3. And so if we were to simplify that polynomial there, we would simplify it down to negative 3x squared plus 8x minus 3. Okay. Take a look at this picture. On the x-axis, you'll see these are quantities of raspberries in packs. And then on the side, on the left side here on the y-axis, you'll see that's total cost or total revenue in dollars. So this total revenue, that's money coming in. So, and then our total cost, let's just do, I don't know, red. That's money going out. Okay. So for what domain is there a profit? Remember, domain is your x. So for what set of x values is there a profit? In order to have a profit, remember, profit is your total revenue minus your total cost. So in other words, when is the positive line, the revenue, right? This line right here, above the cost line, okay? So when is it above the other line, right? So that you can see is from here to here. So now I kind of just need to drop that down and see where we're at. So let's see if I can. Okay, from there, and then it also appears I think I have that slightly off. But I would say that's probably, I'll move that just a little bit to the right, I guess. See if I can fix that a little bit. That's probably a little bit better. So it appears maybe the domain would be from 42, 41 or 42. I guess not. Or equal to, up until maybe 86. So in that range, you can see the revenue is higher than the cost. About how many packs of raspberries do you need to sell to maximize your profit? So this is where we'd want the distance between the points to be the biggest. So to me, that looks like right here. And I would probably say that looks to be 70. So 70 packs. Okay, so in that case, we're really just kind of looking at two different functions and then evaluating them, maybe subtracting them. So how do operations with multiple functions work? Well, we can add, subtract, multiply, and divide functions. We're going to look at the first three of those in this lesson. So adding functions. This is really just mostly combining like terms. So that's how we put functions together, is combine like terms. So if I want to do f of x, this is kind of how it's read, f plus g of x. Really what that means is take f of x and add g of x. That's all that means. So what does that look like? Well, we're gonna take 2x minus 3 plus 2x squared plus x plus 7. Okay, now you know that right here, this is really the same as having a 1 in front. So really, if I take distribute a 1 to all of these terms here, it's going to be the same. So really what that means is, since I can just kind of erase, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller here. I can erase these parentheses then and just combine like terms. Okay, so now I want to do the same thing I did before. Usually we want to start with our highest degree term first, so I'm going to go with that. Here's my 2x squared. There are no other squareds. And then I have 2x plus x is 3x. And then, let's see, I got this one. My two constants there, negative 3 plus 7 is 4. Okay. So now, I now know what f plus g of x is. It's 2x squared plus 3x plus 4. Okay, so now it says here they want us to evaluate this function here at 3 different values, 2, negative 5, and 0. So all that means is I'm just going to put in those values in for x, my new function. Okay, so let's try it. I'll write out this first one here. So f plus g of 2 would be this same function, but putting a 2 here and here, wherever I see an x. I'm going to put it in parentheses, though. Whoops. Not an x, a 2. Squared plus 3 times 2 plus 4. Okay, now you need to follow PEMDAS. Another option that you could do, though, is you can actually just type this into your calculator exactly, and you'll get the same answer. So, but otherwise follow PEMDAS and go from there. So that means I'd want to do the powers first, multiply. But either way, you should get 8 plus 6 plus 4, so that would be 18. So this equals 18. Okay, let's do this one. So again, we're just taking this function and plugging in negative 5. Okay, so again, if you're not great at that, you could just take a look and try to type it in. So let's do that. 2 times negative 5 squared. And then what was the rest? It's plus 3 times negative 5 plus 4. Okay, so exactly the way I wrote it, and you get 39. So if you're a little worried about your PEMDAS skills, you can do that. So we get 39. Okay. All right, how about f plus g of 0 would be 2 times 0 squared plus 3 times 0 plus 4. Well, this will be a little bit easier because this is going to end up being 0, this is 0, and then plus 4. So equals 4. Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Subtracting functions. So this says same functions, but we're going to subtract g of x minus f of x. So notice here it says g minus f. So that means we're going to do this one minus this. So I'm going to write that out this way. So 2x squared plus x plus 7 minus, and then 2x minus 3. Okay, now before you do this, there's just something to remember. So this right here, you got a negative in front of it. You've got to distribute, it's really like a -1. You've got to distribute the negative to both of those before you can combine like terms. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to copy this first part, 2x squared plus x plus 7, and then minus 2x, and then plus 3. Okay, and now you can combine like terms. So 2x squared, there's no other ones of those, and then I got this and this. That'll be 1x minus 2x would be negative 1x. And then I got a 7 plus 3. Okay, cool. And now we just are going to evaluate at the same three numbers. Except this should be g minus f. This should be g minus f. And this should be g minus f. Okay, so g minus f of 2 would be equal to just putting a 2 into this function here. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8, minus 2 is 6, plus 10 is 16. So we get that. Okay. And then let's try this one would be 2 times negative 5 squared minus negative 5 plus 10. So that's negative 5 squared would be 25 times 2 is 50, and then minus a negative 5 is 55, plus 10 is 65. Okay, and then 0, as you probably have figured out, this would be 2 times 0 squared minus 0 plus 10. I think we lost my 10 there, but you get the idea. Let's Let's rewrite that, plus 10. Okay, so that's going to be 0 minus 0 plus 10. Okay, so 10. All right, multiplying fractions. This is where it can be a little bit trickier to navigate. So let's go, this is f times g of x. So this one, we're going to take f, which is 9x plus 20. And we're going to multiply that by x plus 5. Okay. So we're going to distribute everything. So I'm going to start by going this times this and then this times this. Okay, so 9x times x is 9x squared. And then 9x times 5 is 45x. Okay, now I got to do this times this, which would be 20x. And then this times this, which would be plus 100. Okay, now I'm going to simplify. So these two middle terms here I got to put together. So my answer here would be 9x squared plus 65x plus 100. So we're going to have a little bit bigger values here when we do this. So we put a 3 in to this function. 9 times 3 squared plus 65 times 3 plus 100. Okay, let's do that on our calculator maybe. Plus 65 times 3 plus 100. $376. Okay. Okay, now 0. Well, if I put a 0 here and here, it's just going to end up leaving me with 100, right? So, okay. Let's try the -2. That would be 9 times -2 squared plus 65 times -2 plus 100. So again, this might be easier to type into our calculator. Oh, we get 6. Okay, so that's how that works. You're just using your skills with PEMDAS, combining like terms to help do that. Okay, one last problem. The population of 2 species of birds in a forest can be modeled by the following functions, where t is the time in years. The first function is f of t equals -10t squared plus 102t plus 950. The second one is g of t is equal to -5t squared plus 82t plus 850. What is the function for the combined population? So these are 2 birds. So combined means I need to add these 2 together. So when I read that, I should be thinking, oh, that means f of t plus g of t. Okay, so, all right, let's do it. If I put those together, I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to say this plus that would give me -15t squared. All right. And then I guess I've canceled those out. So now let's do, I have 102 t plus 82t would give me 184t. Okay. And then I have 950. So 900 plus 850. 900 plus 800 is 1700. Plus another 50 on each side would give me 1800. Okay. So that would be the combined function. It would usually be named like that. Okay. How many birds of both species will there be in 5 years? So they're asking for us to put a 5 in there. All right, let's do it. Okay, let's see what that is. Negative 15 times 5 squared plus 184 times 5. Plus 1800. 2,345 if I type those all in correctly. Let's double check. Yep, looks like it. Okay, so 2,345. 2345. Birds. All right. That is it. I hope that makes sense to you. You can go ahead and do this assignment. Good luck. See ya.